If you have this in your hand or graveyard, you can send an Albaz, or a branded spell or trap from your deck to the graveyard, to put this card back onto the bottom of the deck, then draw a card if it was used from your hand. It's also treated as Falling of Albaz while on the field or in the graveyard. This card is really important for a lot of your combos. It pairs with Serenir's Graveyard Effect to effectively search a branded spell or trap by sending a Retribution with Serenir, and then sending the card you want with Shrouded. It's also really useful for sending Albaz to the graveyard to make cards like Cartesia live, or just to put it there for the opponent's turn, so that you have a stronger end board. Sending Albaz with this at the start of your turn can also help play around Bestials from banishing your only Albaz in response to Albion. You can play more than one copy of this, since it is just Upstart Goblin, but better, for this deck. However, it is once per turn, and a lot of combos like to use this later on as a search target when you know exactly what you want to send with it. Most of the time I find that when I open this card and use it right away, I'm actually guessing which card I need to send to the graveyard. Between Retribution and Albaz, it can be hard to tell what you need, since you don't know how you're going to get hand-trapped yet, and you also don't know what card you're going to draw with Shrouded's effect. This card is at its best when you are already comboing, and don't care about what you draw, and you just want to send something to the graveyard. The fact that it's treated as Albaz while in the graveyard sometimes comes up for Branded in Red, or Cartesia, but most of the time that effect doesn't matter, since this card leaves the graveyard for its own effect, and can always just send a real Albaz instead. There is also a secret mode to this card that very rarely comes up, but is pretty cool when it does. It can actually be special summoned to the field if you send a card from your hand to the graveyard instead of from the deck. This might come up when pushing for lethal since it has 2,500 attack, but is more likely to come up as a way to get an Albaz fusion onto the board, but utilizing the fact that Shrouded Dragon becomes Albaz while on the field. One time you might use the card like this is when all 3 copies of Albaz are banished, and you want to go into an Albaz fusion using Cartesia. Then we have the Bestial Lubellion. Lubellion can be discarded from your hand to search for a Bestial monster. You can also special summon it from your hand or graveyard by tributing a level 6 or higher Dark Dragon monster. While it's on the field, you can also place a continuous branded spell or trap from your deck onto the field. This is the main link target to send with Branded Fusion when you're summoning